You
Sorry,
Oh,
Dark.
the order's ruined. Yeah, so I have
What a title. By the way.
yeah, I have Chichi wa Eiyuu, Haha wa Seirei, Musume no Watashi wa Tenseisha.
Yes.
Which, so dad is a hero, mom is a spirit, I'm a reincarnator. Now, before we get into anything, I
Oh
want
my
you,
god.
Spire, to guess what reincarnator means.
Just isekai, right? Isn't that what it means?
Fuck. He's too smart. He's too smart.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it means. This whole time, I thought it was that she was just like a spirit healer or something.
Oh,
No,
okay,
turns
okay.
out, yeah. Well, because it's like they're talking about their like not classes, but you know what I mean. It's like dad's a hero, mom's a
I know,
spirit. Like I don't reincarnate. Yeah, I thought it would be like.
I thought initially when I saw the preview that she was just like a spirit kind of thing too. But then I was like, it says like specifically like tensei, like going on to the next life. And usually, I mean, tensei does generally mean reincarnation, but in a lot of these sorts of like anime nerd otaku contexts, it's used more often for like isekai tensei, kind of like going on to
Yeah,
other world like kind of stuff. So that's why I caught on.
yeah. So, yeah, just to get that
Also,
out of the
the
way too.
abbreviation, by the way. You want to talk about how stupid the abbreviation is? Hahanoha.
Yeah, so it's
I put it
Hahanoha.
Hahanoha. Yeah, because it's like they use it as HA in the romanization, but you can also do it WA. But it's like HAHANOHA is actually the abbreviation, and you pronounce it Hahanoha. It's like because which transliterates into dad is essentially. But it's certainly a series. We
That
haven't
is
even really
him.
started with this started. So, but yeah, is this a manga original or a light novel? Well, light novel original, right?
Yes, it's a light novel.
Okay. Oh, JC Staff, huh?
Yeah, so this is a JC Staff series. This is a I don't know. Like this is so I guess I should open with the isekai elements are really not that big of a deal in
Mhm.
this so far. It's just mainly like the way like bookworms are. Well, actually no, sub even bookworm. It's just kind of an excuse to make her like hyper intelligent and also with like her
Yeah.
power, which we'll get into later.
It's like bookworm potions, all
Yeah,
that.
so her parents don't know about her being isekai, which is like kind of weird because like the mom is kind of a pretty important spirit. Yeah, so this series opens up with just her dad and our main character Ellen and her dad Roville. Um, he is kind of like very clearly incognito in a shop because he is the hero, and they overhear people telling like storybook stories about this great hero that saved them, like saved them all in a war. From like the monster tempest, which seems to just have been like an event where a bunch of monsters just like showed up and wreaked havoc. Um, and so his daughter is kind of like, well, like, yeah, and they established that he hasn't been seen in 10 years. And so she's kind of like, well, why aren't you going home? And so long story short, he just kind of doesn't want to.
Right.
And during this monster tempest, he was injured, and his guardian spirit Origin saved his life, who he fought with. And then she brought him back to the spirit world, where they then got married and had Ellen. And so no one knows that this happened yet. And until the first episode where he kind of outs himself. And then Ellen forces him to like deal with his worldly affairs, so to speak, because he is now also half spirit, having spent so much time in being healed in the spirit world. What that means is effectively like he does not age, and has like extremely, what would you call it? Like it's not really like omnipotence, but he has like a lot of different powers, to say the least. A lot of different
It's
magics.
it's a pretty standard like being OP, right? Like
Yeah.
for the most part, yeah.
On top of the fact that he was like already had been like blessed by spirits to begin with.
Mhm.
So not to get like too into it, this show kind of goes into like mini arcs and stuff like that. Where the first sort of mini arc is him dealing with this woman who had tried to marry him originally, before he had left. I believe it is the daughter of the current king. Was like obsessed with
Okay.
him, and then after he disappeared, she wound up marrying his brother. And his brother obviously like does not like that, because the way they draw this woman is like a fucking like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a children's cartoon style like villainous character. I'll post it in there. Like that's what she looks like. And she's like extremely fat. And obviously like she's blatantly like, greedy, hoards like the wealth of the people and spends it on herself. So on and so forth. She's like a fucking villain from like Phoenix Wright, realistically, like what the way she looks. Um but yeah, so
Bruh.
the main arc the main arc is kind of
Bruh.
like trying to get his brother out of this marriage, realistically. And so they do a little bit of scheming, they wind up getting the divorce, so on and so forth. And the bigger plunge right now appears to be the crown prince finding out about the about Ellen, and Rovel's wife being Origin. Like, and Origin is effectively like a god almost. Like
Mhm.
that is kind of like the level of spirit that she's on. And yeah, so I feel like the series is gonna wind up just doing sort of like mini arcs in that way, where it's just gonna keep up with different characters over and over again of just like, here's like this like fallout in the last like 10 years that he had been gone. Because it's kind of like what the Crown Prince thing is doing too.
Right.
But yeah, apparently like there's gonna be like the Crown Prince wants like his son to meet Ellen, and I would assume them doing like an arranged marriage out of convenience. And it's the usual like statecraft thing where the Crown Prince wants wants to be related through like marriage to like, this great hero politically.
Right.
And so he a bit of a schemer, and also the fact that apparently like the crown family has been abandoned by spirits. Now I don't really know where they're going to go with that plot line of them having been abandoned by spirits, because it seems to have already been explained that it was just them like kind of abusing calling on spirits in battle and such, of just like constantly calling on spirits over and over again with no like real reverence for them. So I don't know if they're really going to go any further with that or do anything else. I would hope that they get a little bit more creative with it, but a lot of things in this series are fairly standard.
I will say though that the overarching plot has to do with their relationship with the spirits, so you'll get your answer.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, so like that part's usually pretty fine, but everything is pretty standard. The only thing I haven't really mentioned yet, and it's just mostly because it hasn't really come into play. Like it's come into play, but it's not that important, shockingly, compared to how like strong it is that Ellen, as being an isekai individual, has all of her memories of being like, I guess she would have been like a what would you have said she was? Like maybe like a chem scientist or something?
She's a
Pharmacist, kind
nerd.
of? Pharmacist?
She's
No,
well,
not a pharmacist. Like more like hard
power
elemental
is
like chemistry.
her power is that she memorized the entire periodic table, Spire.
Yeah.
Probably
She has like
research, clinical
yeah,
research or
she's like
something like that, right?
yeah, something like that. It's like a lot of like periodic table stuff.
Uh-huh.
and like elements and build up of like like atomic structures, crystal structures, stuff like that.
Do you think she
Um,
could make meth? So she's a science teacher.
yeah, effectively. But yeah, so she uses that like knowledge to um manipulate matter basically, and she can just like do pretty much like alchemy and create just like gold and other elements out of
So
effectively
an
nothing.
alchemist. That's the
Yeah,
word then.
she's pretty much an alchemist, but like giga powerful. To the point
A
where
full metal alchemist.
what is it? She winds up what is it? Her father and mother in like I think the first episode or second episode, so it's like barely a spoiler. Get remarried in the human world. And she on the spot forges them silver rings with like a diamond inlay. Um and yeah, so like that, but that doesn't really come into like use yet. Like she's used it for things, but it's not like a major plot point. I think it's just kind of being used right now just to keep it secret from the other people. So that, they don't like crash economies or like get too powerful. But yeah. Even that, like I said, is like pretty like basic isekai isekai stuff in that regards. As far as the world goes, it's a pretty standard
Yeah.
fantasy world. What I do appreciate so far, at least, is that they are not doing um, RPG element stuff. They kind
Oh,
of
like
just go
screen status screen
into
shit. Yeah.
yeah, no, it's just like pure fantasy right now. Like at the very
Yeah.
least, like
Yeah.
and I don't think they're gonna go beyond that.
Mhm.
Because they've done a lot of fantasy stuff.
Okay.
But
Can I
yeah,
ask what's the sort of focus? What's the sort of focus on of the series? Is it mainly just like exploring like the powers of the
it's
world, or
like
like what's going
kind
on?
of like dealing again. It's mostly so far dealing with the fallout of the father being gone for 10 years.
Mhm.
Um, and in between that, the like real bread and butter of the series, which I enjoy enough, is kind of like all of the characters doting on Ellen. There's like a
Yeah.
butler character and the mother-in-law character that immediately like fall in love and are like because Rovel's father fell in battle, so the butler is basically like you could call me grandpa whenever you want. And there's a lot of like cute scenes of them like spoiling her. Um, but yeah, a lot of other some of the other cruxes is kind of like Ellen and Roville, both like kind of deceiving each other in certain ways of like him trying to play off certain things to get her to like not really like behave, but like to sort of try to keep things stable without like involving her because he knows she'll like get more involved.
Mm-hmm.
But that usually like doesn't
So
really
it's
work, obviously,
so
because she is
essentially
like
trying to stop her
isekai.
from like going off into like her like random whatever she
Yeah, but
getting into
usually,
things, right?
yeah, at least
Yeah.
so far, she kind of winds up resolving things anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with the mother.
Mm.
But it's the typical thing of like, oh, I feel like this is my responsibility.
Right,
Um,
right, right.
but yeah, other than that, pretty standard so far. It's definitely something I'm gonna keep up with. As I said, this is JC staff, so this is also a light novel original. Um, but yeah, I think
Yes.
it's big benefit. It largely benefits from the isekai stuff being pretty light. Not having like RPG element world building is definitely beneficial. Um, but yeah, I will say one of the unfortunate parts is the audio visuals are like relatively unremarkable. It is JC staff, but it's not like it's actually not like terrible, especially for JC staff, but it's also not like anything to write home about. Like I would not say like these are a cut above everything anything, but it's also not that detrimental because it's not like the series has like action in it so far. Um
You
It's
said
definitely a
JC
lot more
staff, right?
focused. Yes.
Here's the big question: is it better than One Punch Man season 3?
From what I've seen from One Punch Man season 3, yes.
So you're saying that they put more effort into this than One Punch Man season 3? Is that what we're getting at?
Sorry, what did you say?
You're saying they put more into this than in One Punch Man season 3?
I mean, I don't know if they have to put more is the thing. I think One Punch Man season 3 is just a product of its design, really.
Didn't you hear? It was like
Yeah.
what, episode 8? We finally got some animation.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I think
speaking of One Punch Man season 3, near, you seen it?
No,
What?
I
You
don't,
didn't enjoy the fight between Flashy Flash and the other the ninjas guys?
bro. I didn't like One Punch Man season 1. Like,
I think it's also the production quality timelines are a little bit different, right? Or the production timelines to make comparisons for the quality is a little bit of an apples and oranges thing because the biggest issue with I mean, like Hahanoha is just like a flat JC staff kind of series, right? And you're like, oh, okay, like they're just gonna put the standard amount of like Isekai budget into it, especially for like a more niche series such as this. Um, and I mean, even White Fox and stuff like that does that, right? But in terms of like One Punch Man, the issue was that
You see
season
that thing I
one,
just posted? Isn't it pretty
yeah,
cool?
So I really think
yeah.
what?
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Oh, classic, the cutoff, yeah.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
But
one of the big problems is more so that it's like One Punch Man is like such a action heavy like series that it's like it's way more noticeable.
Mhm.
But I will say too, it's like JC Staff also has never spent money on One Punch Man for some reason, which is like kind of crazy. Because like I said,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
One
yeah.
Punch Man, I think season 2 came out either before or around the time of like Railgun and like or one of the Railgun series, I think season 3, and it's
I think it
like
was a little bit before. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like I love Railgun, don't get me wrong, and that is definitely an important series for JC Staff, but like I was like I really didn't expect like this series to be relatively fine. And then like what they choose to spend money on is like very fucking weird. Cuz like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
like cuz even before the BDs like Index season 3 was really bad. But still not as bad as One Punch Man. So it's like, that
Mhm.
was always very strange. But this is not at least so far this is not nearly as egregious as One Punch Man. So,
Okay, 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 okay.
yeah. So
Um,
not terrible though. The OP and ED, the OP, the ED's
yes.
pretty okay and like kind of like storybookish. The OP is kind of not really much to write home about.
Mm-hmm.
Is a track called Maho by Kaho. I don't know that artist personally, but I will say the song is kind of atrocious in my opinion. Um, it's kind of way too fast and way too wordy lyrically. So
Mhm.
not sure what's going on with that. Not a fan. It's kind of like a pretty fairly standard OP, all things considered.
Mm. Okay.
Try.
What about
I
the
don't know if
ending?
because no, yeah, like I said, the ED is like pretty cozy.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
a storybookish type thing of
Mhm.
kind of like going through the 10 years ish of Ellen growing up, or the 8 years of Ellen growing up in the spirit world and shit like that. So it's
Okay.
like cozy. The series overall is like pretty, but also not particularly amazing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so. Uh, not not terribly awful, but kind of what I expected, really. Better, well, it could be worse, to say the least. It's which makes it better than expected. Yeah, I think that's
Oh,
about it. About all I really got to say about it,
okay.
to be honest.
I guess then what would you give it Mel rating wise?
So since I mean, I think this for me is like a true 5 in that I
Oh, okay.
it's one of those things where it's like I couldn't really recommend it to be like, oh, you should watch it this season. Maybe like a 6 because it's not. Yeah, like a 6-ish because it's not like
Mhm.
bad. But I'm also not like, oh, you should check this out, right?
Right.
I think it's like pretty whatever. Um, you could like kind of take it or leave it. Like if you don't really have much else to really go on this season, you could check it out. Or if you think like these sorts of gimmicks really like are something you enjoy enough.
Mhm.
But as far as like, as far as actually like checking the series out goes, it's like but yeah. So yeah, like a 6. And it's got a
Okay.
6.7 on Mall. But I think that's a little
That's
high. I mean, it's not like I guess that's like not terribly high for Mall standards, but for like a perfectly fine series, but I think
mhm.
that's like kind of high.
I'm just surprised that you gave it like a higher rating than I would have expected, to be honest. Especially since I'm not sure. Like you you definitely like Bookworm and stuff like that a little bit better, right? So I thought this would be
Oh,
definitely like
100%. But
in the
like
5 or
Bookworm for me
below.
is like an
Yeah.
8, right? Like I think
Yeah.
Bookworm's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
you should check out because it's very
Yeah.
fun and
Okay.
very cozy.
Yeah. Okay. Pretty good. All right then. Well, thank you very much, Dark. And Dark, excuse me, covered my dad is a hero, mom is a spirit, and I'm a reincarnated, also known as Chichi wa Eiyuu, haha wa Seirei, musume no watashi wa Tenseisha. So
Oh
the
yeah, my dad works at Nintendo.
yeah, that's true. But yeah, the abbreviation for this is Hahanoha, which is my mother is. Sorry, I think I blanked out the last time I said dad is for whatever reason, but it's mom is. Excuse me, Hahanoha. But yeah, it's a light novel original. Got adapted into anime by none other than the lovely JC staff. So if you want a decently solid isekai for this season, please do check it out.